What's up, Bat family? Here we are. It is Sunday. We are doing our weekly Zoom call. Right now, we're waiting just for a few others to get online. If no one does, that is okay. Everything will be uploaded to the YouTube channel here in a little bit. Hope everyone had a great weekend. This weekend for me was full of finding balance, exercising, journaling. If you guys were not aware, shameless shout out, I do have a trading journal. It is available on Amazon and it is a hardback trading journal. It's really nice, has motivational quotes in here and it's a really great layout to journal your trades and trading sessions. I also will be making a Notion template of this later today after I get this video uploaded. That way, you guys will be able to use the same exact journal, but on a Notion template electronically. So I'm gonna put that down. Aside from that, we've had a fantastic trading week and actually nearly a whole, I think 3 weeks, 4 weeks straight of just really, really consistent signals. And the weekly report card was posted yesterday. So if you are not in my Telegram channel, if you're not in Bat Signals, go ahead and join my free Telegram channel. It is in the link in the description of the video. I send weekly news, or I'm sorry, weekly analysis, as you see here, on top of daily updates with updated analysis, and of course, signals on gold and the NASDAQ 100, as well as the US30 lately. All right, so now, without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and dive into the upcoming economic news for the week. And just a reminder for those that do not know, last month I did become a licensed securities professional. I do hold my Series 63 and Series 65. And that's what these next videos I'll be making are going to cover. How to get that for yourself and how to transition into someone in professional finance, or being a professional in finance, I should say. That'd be the best way to phrase it. Doing so can allow you to become an advisor, wealth manager, even a day trader for a financial firm. These are all realistic things that can happen and what I have sought out to do for myself. So without further ado, here we go. Let's see. We have during pre-Asia Open for Sunday, retail sales for New Zealand dollar. I'm going to refresh this just to make sure we have the right times. Yeah, so for Sunday, normally the market opens at 2 p.m. my time. So this is pre-market. So some type of news is going to happen before we open. On top of that, we have medium impact news for the euro during Monday, 1 hour into London session. So Monday should be more of a quiet day. That's the only news event that I really see here. After that, on Tuesday, we have some medium and high impact news for the US dollar during or slightly after US Open, or slightly after New York Open, I should say. Later that day, during Asia session, we have CPI for the Australian dollar, consumer price index for the Australian dollar, and that just measures the price of consumer goods, which gives a overall gauge on inflation for the country for that quarter. Next, shortly after that, 30 minutes later, we have high impact news for the New Zealand dollar. They are releasing a monetary policy statement and a rate statement. Following that morning, New York session, New York Open, we have preliminary GDP for the US dollar, unemployment claims, core durable goods orders, and on top of that, Chicago PMI, core PCE, and PCE is, what is PCE? Personal consumption expenditures. Core does not include food and energy prices. And after that, we have FOMC meeting minutes. Overall, New York session is going to be very, very volatile, very great trading day with lots of opportunities on Wednesday. After that, on Thursday, London Open, Spanish Flash Consumer Price Index. Shortly after that, Reserve Bank of Australia, Governor Bullock speaks, and then we have a holiday for the US, which is Thanksgiving. It is Thanksgiving this Thursday, November 28th. And then after that, Black Friday. Black Friday is historically a great trading day from the research that I've done on top of my own experience. It's a good day with lots of good setups. And as you can see, we do have some news Friday as well, which during London Open, we have the Swiss franc, GDP, the Euro core consumer price index. So same thing, consumer price index without the food and data. I'm sorry, food and energy data. On top of that, Canadian GDP and Chinese yuan manufacturing purchasing managers index, which is right. Yeah, this is already during market close as it is 5:30 p.m. So no trades will be able to be taken anyways. Alrighty. So now without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into our pairs that we trade, which will be today we'll be covering gold and the NASDAQ like usual. And we'll also cover Bitcoin and we'll look at XRP as well. And if there's any time left, maybe silver. Silver hasn't been doing much, but we'll cover the main pairs and see what we can get into. On the left-hand side, we're going to the daily time frame. On the right-hand side, we're going to go to the weekly time frame. We're going to delete that as this is part of, I believe, Friday or Thursday's analysis. As you can see, gold had a massive bullish week, massively bullish, did not even pull back, create a wick, anything, just open bullish. So we opened at 26.57 last week and we made a high and closed at 27.16. So that is a $140 movement, I believe, from when I looked at this earlier. $149. So price moved nearly $150 last week in gold, which is 1,490 pips. Insane. But let's remove some of these technicals that I have on here so we can get a better idea what's going on. So we have our previous week's low now, which is right where this point is. We have our previous week's high, which is this point right here. Going to label that PWH, previous week's high, pretty simple. Let's remove these EMAs, we don't need them. Going to drop to the 12-hour here. Okay, so it looks like there's still range to go up to 27.30 based on what we're seeing here. We have this level of resistance, an area of supply, 27.50. Let's remove some of these technicals here. Okay. So we have a bit of a fair value gap right here, 26.40, 26.20. Okay. On the left side, we're going to the 4-hour, right side, 12-hour. We get that same view just on a split screen here. Okay, so there's an area of demand right here, right at 26.90, 26.85 price range, 26.95 if you want to extend it that high. But demand right down here, 26.85, 26.90. Now, overall, this just looks like it's going to continue higher up to 27.30, which is a little less than $14 move from current prices. If we see a pullback, potential wick on the higher time frame, based on the 12-hour here, if we open bearish, come down, make some type of higher low here, we could see a continuation as such. That'd be ideal based on the weekly time frame. If we go back up real quick, you can see that this might be a retest area. This was the previous week's high right here at 26.85, and what this area of support is. 2688. We might come back and tap this little area here before continuing higher. If that area breaks, we do have another area we could respond from or react from 2670. In my opinion, though, I don't see gold really going down that low. I mean, it is possible, especially if this area breaks, but it looks like we may just get a pullback and then a strong continuation higher. That is what I'm seeing here. Yeah, we may retest all-time highs or come to that green zone rehab right up here, which is based off the higher time frame Fibonacci levels, Fibonacci extension levels, the negative 61, negative 27%, negative 61.8%. And that is 2,800 up to 2,820. So we could see gold continue higher and make a new all-time high. That'd be a $104 move up to 2,820 from current prices and a $84 move from current prices. So that's very well possible based on the price action we had last week. So I would say gold is bullish for now. I'm going to add this risk reward tool to show potential setup. This could potentially be something, or we may not get the pullback and it just may just continue bullish, open bullish, and keep going. But overall, this is what the ideal setup would be for me. Or that is what I would call the signal on. If we see this price action line up, I'm calling this in the signal group in the Telegram channel, and we'll take advantage of it. Next, we're going to go to the NASDAQ 100. So NASDAQ last week, or I should say Friday, we had taken buys 2 times, and overall price was very volatile. So we took buys right back here, pushed up, smacked into this resistance. I thought it would break and continue up to 26 or 20,900 based off the risk reward tool that I have here. But as you can see, price came down, made support on this area down here. Let's remove this. Ultimately pushed up, came back down, hit that resistance again, and is struggling to break above, which, well, not necessarily struggling, it did clear this time. So to start the week, we're going to see continued bullish pressure up to 26, or actually up to 21,000, 21,000. Our first take profit area was 20,900, 20,900, right at this point. And then should clear up all the way up to this area of supply, area of broken support right here. Let's fix that. I'm going to zoom out and we're going to go to the daily time frame on the right-hand side. You look at the daily time frame, it looks clear as day that we're just going to continue bullish, right? At least to me. Let's adjust this weekly high because this is now the previous week's high. Since we are on a new week. This right here is the previous week's high. EWH. Let's make that blue just because our previous week's low is also that blue zone, and I like to keep it consistent. There we go. Now let's look at this previous week's low here. That is not it. Wait, actually, yeah, that is it. This is it right here. On the left, we're going up to the 4-hour real quick. Let's remove these EMAs, these moving averages, the EMA, SMA. If you'd like to know what setting those are on, you can go ahead and send me a DM and I'll let you know if you didn't already catch it on the left-hand side, but it is EMA 8, moving average 21, which is the EMA 8 is the blue line, moving average 21 is the red line that you saw, and that's based off of the previous 8 candlesticks and the previous 21 candlesticks. So that's what the 8 and 21 represent. All right, so moving forward, you have zone right here, high low point area demand, or responded from this area of support that we created this higher low from. We have a higher high ready to print here. Current price is 28.17 where we closed. We could gap higher based off the price action here. There's a lot of bullish pressure. She may just push right on up and open higher. It would be ideal to see a pullback, but even if we go to the lower time frame, 1 hour, 2 hour, you just see wick rejections, cleared above here, and she's just ready to pop. So we may just open with bullish pressure and continually push up to the 21000 price range. From here to that price point would be a 183-point move. Yep. So if we took the buys here, or even just slightly higher, say 28.20, this is still a 2.44 risk reward. Let's bring this down. 2.16 risk reward trade just on the setup here. If you extended the stop loss, it's going to be a little less, but overall, this is a great setup in my opinion. So overall, NASDAQ bullish. Still just going to continue based off last week. We could see a pullback. It is possible based off this weekly time frame where this area of support is on the left-hand side on the 4 hour. On the right-hand side, this is a little halfway through this weekly candle. So we could see a retracement to that level and take off. There's some confluence here, support and demand. If we put a Fibonacci retracement tool on the weekly candle, which this is a tip I like to utilize. If you measure the previous week's candle based on the trend that it's going, a lot of times you can figure out where it's going to go to start the week. So as you see, we have a little pullback area that lines up with 2642. That might not happen, but that is where our area demand support is. That's the 38.2 Fibonacci, and first take profit area would be the negative 27%, which is the 21,000. If we continue, it would go to 21,160 price range. But if you can utilize this tool though to see where price may go in the short term, and that's what I use it for, to get ideas where price could go, but we're focusing on the price action and adapting to what we see. So a lot of times we're not holding out for the whole duration. We're taking the scalp and then it pulls back and we can enter again, or whatever the case may be. If you would like to know, go ahead and join my free Telegram channel. I send the updates for the trades live as they're going, and you'll see how to, or at least how I manage my live trades and try to keep us consistently profitable. So that's it for the NASDAQ. Overall bullish. May have a pullback, but overall looking to continue to 21000 price range. Real quick, we'll look at US30. US30 has had a wild week. Friday, we were trying to get in some buys. As you see, this risk reward tool here just pushed up way too quickly, could not call them. So that's why we called the NASDAQ trade. But NASDAQ didn't move the same. It was not as clean as the US30. As you see here, it just pushed up and kept going, whereas, we'll go back real quick. Whereas NASDAQ wasn't clean like that. It was real choppy. Came up, came down, came up, came down, and now it's ready to go. Whereas if you look at the US30, same time frame, 1 hour, just boom, clean push, retest, and kept going. And that is what we were at, or at least what I was anticipating for that signal. So overall, that move is going to play out still. So we can still take advantage of it, like I was just saying. The US30 still looking to climb higher. We are approaching all-time highs, and we're in a strong area of take profit. If potentially we break above higher, there is an area where price could go that hasn't been tapped into yet, which is the 45870 price range, where this blue zone is all the way up here. And like I was saying, this is based off the higher time frame Fibonacci. Same thing, except we're not basing it off the weekly candle, we're basing it off the overall higher time frame trend. There's a few ways to utilize this tool. You can see where the short-term trend may go to, as we showed in the last example, where it may go to in the short term in the first few days of the market open, or you can see the overall trend and where it may go over a longer period of time, over weeks or a month or two or months, maybe longer than a month or two. But for me, that's a bit harder to be consistent on as there's a lot of movement in the market. The weekly Fibonacci, you can more consistently analyze where price may go up to. All right, so that's where we have our higher time frame area though. If we break above this all-time high this week, we could see 45900 and possibly up to, which sounds crazy, 50,000 for the US30, the Dow Jones, 50000 and potentially up to 51000. That is quite an extensive move, but we are literally at all-time high or about to be at all-time highs again, and all it needs is just a little volume. And based on how everything's moving currently, it's not going to stop. So let's remove a few things here. Let's turn off these EMAs. See the SMA 21, which is that red one I just turned off, and EMA 8, which is the blue line, turning both those off. So here, area demand. This was the weekly high, but now this is here, which is going to be labeled the previous week's high now, since this was the high for last week. This weekly low is now going to be the previous week's low, since this was last week now. PWL. We did manage to catch one of these trades, though. I did call these buys, and it was beautiful. But alrighty. Clean breakout trade, break up resistance, pull back, tap into demand, and take off. So on the right-hand side, zoom out. We could see a retest down at the 4410 price range, or price broke resistance. It could even be this area here, but there is something right here price may react from. So we'll make a zone, right? Just like that. So based off the 12-hour time frame, it would be nice to see a retracement, a retest back in this area to take buys. So we could see a move like this as such. If we get so lucky. It could retrace lower down to here, 434, or I'm sorry, 44000. That is a possibility as well for this area of resistance that was broken to make this higher high. And if that does happen, that would be a very good opportunity to take these buys. But based on how we're currently extended, it may just keep pushing as well. But I'm going to set an alert at this price point here, and hopefully we can execute in this area to take advantage of this move. Overall, US30 bullish, looking to continue higher. And if we break above the all-time high, first take profit area is going to be the 45800 up to 46,000, 46000 price range. Just going to save these charts real quick. All righty, moving on. We are looking at Bitcoin now. So Bitcoin has obviously smashing all-time highs. We have, at least on this chart, just shy of 100,000. Overall prices obviously going to break 100,000, and the area that I had was 105,000 if May 1st hit. We may extend further beyond this point. This just was the area I have been anticipating this entire time. So now that we're finally here, we may see some type of major retracement as we're really overextended. And, the same thing happens every single bull run. We have a lot of new people get in, that there's a lot of market exuberance, a lot of people buying, a lot of retail traders buying at all-time highs. And then, as we all know, it comes crashing down, has a major retracement, and then it takes a few years for it to repeat the cycle. And I'm just drinking some Celsius here. Hopefully you guys are Celsius fans. This is a on-the-go powder packet, so you can just add water and dump it in, and so good. So Started drinking these instead of the canned ones, and I like them. But let's see here. The next place that Bitcoin could retest is the 80,000 price point. If that is broken, may come crashing down to 70,000, 75,000 price point, or even lower. Wouldn't say now would be the best time to short Bitcoin, obviously. There's a lot of bullish pressure, but we are at that point where looking for that may not be that big of a risk. We are pretty extended here. The market has hit the or is getting close to the projection area. So we may extend past that point. When assets make new all-time highs, they go through a process of price discovery, and overall, we would need to wait for a little more confirmation before we were to jump in for sells. But we are at that point. It may go a little higher and possibly even up to 120 if there's a lot more excitement in the market. But overall, it does look like it's going to come back down to retest here after all this, after everything that's happened. It needs to come back down. On the daily time frame, there is a shorter term level right here at the 88 to 90,000 price point. So this would probably act as a short-term support, but it does look like prices coming down to this point now, down to 90,000. And then from there, we could possibly push up to that 105 and possibly beyond. I am just mapping this out just because this is where price is looking to head in the short term. And 981, 92,000 is where the resistance is. But the overall zone, the demand zone is 90,000, 88,000. We like to see that to be able to potentially take buys. And then from there, we could see that 100,000 price point and beyond. It is pretty extended though, so buying up there is high, but that is what the trend is doing. And you want to be able to, well, not be able to. The idea is to trade with the trend. So you want to trade with the trend, trade with current direction. And that is bullish. But long term though, to add to your holdings, it would be really nice to add at 75,000 and possibly lower. But there's still some more juice to squeeze out of Bitcoin though. It's not done yet. Next, and this may be our final pair here. We're going to be looking at XRP USD. XRP, still same thing, is going to continue higher. Took months and months for this to finally play out. But we've been seeing these levels, been analyzing the same thing. The overall direction, overall price points have not changed for this pair. It's just finally moving. So let's clear some technicals real quick, clean it up some. Overall, we can see that price tapped into the $1.60 point, almost $1.65. We're currently at $1.33. But the lows of this month was 49 cents, guys. So this coin, XRP, has went up over 3x, over 300%. Oh, wait. Oh, is that only 236? Okay, my apologies. 236% from the monthly lows to the monthly high at $1.63. If we zoom out some and go to the weekly time frame, you can see some buyer's exhaustion. Obviously, we have people taking profit, and then we have some short-term sellers getting in to take advantage of the retracement. Let's remove this here and place it down here. This is support on the weekly time frame. So $1.05, dollar might be our area of support, this price range here. And guys, you always have to update your technicals on the charts. Once price starts to break past these points, you got to adjust it to what you see accordingly here to keep the analysis accurate. We can see some type of reaction from this area here, but I still believe we're going to see that correction down to $1.10, $1.05, $1 for XRP, and that might be the last time to be able to get in on a pullback. If we look at the weekly time frame, as we just were, there appears to be some type of pullback areas we can get in on throughout this candle. And if we apply the same logic that we used, or the same exact tool that we used, the Fibonacci retracement tool, you can see our first area is $1.94, basically $2, and then we have $2.33. So the top of the supply, and then a little past this area of resistance here. We have a potential pullback area of $1.20, $1.19. If we break below that weekly low, where the support is $1.05, we may see 93 cents, 95, 93 cents, which would be a little extreme, but that would be a great point to be able to scoop some up. Probably wouldn't last that long, probably just wick down and snap right back up. Yeah, something like this. So if price does continue to push, we may see a liquidity sweep from this area of support to make people think it's broken. And then bam, all the way up to the $1.94 price point, the top of the supply, and then through that resistance level. So if we are watching these charts here and we're ready for these price points, we could take advantage of a pretty nice move here. So I'm going to set an alert at 96 cents. Well, it's slightly above 96 cents, but I want to be alerted before we hit the extreme if we come down here. Also, I'm going to make an alert at $1.10, just so I'm aware that price is approaching that dollar point. Overall, there's a lot of influence here, and price is just going to continue in the direction that it's heading now. There's still time to take advantage of these moves and these assets, although they have pushed quite significantly. Just be patient, wait for retracement, and make sure you stick to your analysis. And that's really what it is. They are playing out right now, so it's a matter of executing and being patient for those levels to play out. All right, and I'm going to end it here, guys. We're not going to really touch silver today. I'll send it into the Telegram, though, with an analysis. But if you enjoyed this weekly Zoom call, enjoy the analysis and what was covered here today, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you have not already done so, go ahead and join my free Telegram channel. It is Bat Signals. We are a strong community here and growing and working very hard to provide my very best for you all. I do have a paid channel as well. It is called Bat Academy. It is very low cost and full of resources, as well as a community of students to where they will help you grow, and we communicate with each other every day. They have access to me, and we're ultimately in this journey together, and that's what it's about. I hope you all have a great weekend, and looking forward to this trading week. We have some very nice setups coming our way, and it's just a very exciting way to end the month here. Take care, Bat fan. Appreciate you all, and peace.